Alright, this one is going to be a fast one, so let's get into it. The first one is a test by Brick Studios. Let's begin with the positives. All the shots with Lloyd were filmed perfectly right along with his movements. The lighting was also very clear. Now let's go through what could have been better. The camera was out of focus for a bunch of the important stuff. Also, I don't see the point of posting something that isn't done. I'm not a fan of lamp shading done by animators, which means to acknowledge an issue but not trying to fix it. If you filmed all that, you might as well finish it. If that was fixed and the same with the issues, this could have been a far better video. But I still give this a 7 out of 10.
I've been balling since the 6th grade, earrings was so big.
The next video is random person back at it again. This video isn't trying to do much, so I'll review it for what it is trying to do and how good it does it. I like the way the animation was executed, and by that I mean how everything was presented, from the crossbows to the knights. What this video does suffer from is a lack of audio. A lot of random person's videos do suffer from the lack of audio, which seems to lower the impact of what's happening. One of the most important things in a video is usually the audio, and it could have helped this out a lot. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else to critique. I guess I could say that some more energy could have been put, and a perfect example of showing energy in a video is the video right before this. Because of that, I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. Next up is a brick film done by Banner Stop Motion Studios. Now this is exactly how you make a video right about 2 minutes. It goes straight to the point, the audio was nice, the framing was nice, and the animation went from good to spectacular at some moments. The best example of this was in the timestamp 2:15 to 2:25. I love how the arrow was shot and the same with all the angles that were shown in the video. I do feel like this deserves some kind of more dramatic lighting, but that's just me being nitpicky. But this overall is an 8.5 out of 10. The next video here is by Ulysses and Esteban. I have to call out that the watermark is kind of distracting and it does take away from the video. The walking cycle is really good, and that goes for the set design as well. I however do feel that these kind of videos have already been done to death, so not much is really done to experiment. The premise really lowers the video down. Because of that, I'm gonna give that like a 5 out of 10. The next video is submitted by Raptor Randoms. There's a free editing software that could have helped you add the audio rather than just recording it externally. I believe you can fix this issue on CapCut if it's necessary. I actually like the tight framing in this video, and I also do mess with the lighting. Both the lighting and the framing were done very well. I do have to mention though that you can really tell that you're zooming in too much for the video. Zooming in lowers the quality of the video, so it would be better if you just put the camera closer. If your phone camera doesn't let you focus too much when you get close, I suggest buying a macro lens off of Amazon. I use one for basically every single one of my videos, and I believe you would benefit from it. Other than that, this is a 7 out of 10. The next video was done by Sean Lego. In the beginning, you should have taken more time panning the camera around. It would have taken a lot more patience, but it would have looked far better. The fighting later is actually done pretty well. The use of colored lines also does help a bunch. Some advice coming from me is to get some kind of colored paper in the background so it adds more contrast to what's happening. We have to remember that my reviews are being rated by what is tried to be done and how successful it was being done. So if you're trying to make a crazy 1-hour video and it ends up just being alright, I would give it like a 4 out of 10. But if you try to make a walking cycle, but it was a really good walking cycle, that would be like a 9 out of 10. Now that I've checked out the whole video, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. They say that you can soothe the soul. Next up is a video by Buggle Bricks. I really like the use of color to show where this video would have taken place. The framing was also very stage-like, but this is actually one of the few times where that actually is a good thing for a Lego video. I do feel like things were moving too slow, but that's just me being nitpicky for a 22-second long video. It succeeded very well on the small scale project you want it to be, so I'll give that an 8 out of 10. Lego Motion Productions continues the small scale trend, but he gets way wilder with it. I really like the style used for the animation, where some of the impact happens and it feels like the world slows down for just a half a second. It's a really small thing, but I noticed it and it adds so much visually. Every time the camera moves, it feels very intentional, and it really adds to a lot of what's happening. I also really like the diversity of all the things going on in this small time given, like all the clips you're doing at the same time. All those things together make me want to give you a 9 out of 10. Back at it again, we have another small skit. Something that could be changed in the beginning is when both of the vehicles are being shown. It would have been better if the camera was panned side to side or just back up the camera. I like how the hand smacked was shown, but it could have been better if it was bigger. Nonetheless, having it really adds to the comedic effect. The comedy here was also done very well. One issue is that it feels like the joke was cut in half and the entire punchline wasn't there. Like, this video could have been a bit longer to like go on with the joke. I also do like the hand animations that you were doing when they were speaking. One other thing that could have improved is the set design. I feel like this would actually been better if you just went for like a plain blue piece of paper. Because of this, I'm giving you a 6 out of 10. This was a ride of a video. I will forgive things like the digital zoom in this video because the things shown were so creative because of wall jumping and people being thrown at the walls were all done beautifully. I absolutely love the physical impacts when someone was thrown at the wall. That adds so much, and the effort of making that definitely adds to the experience. So far, this is the best fight scene shown in the video. The camera does feel very tight at times, but I understand why this was done because it adds to the perfectly shakiness movement that was done for the camera. I do feel though as if it would have still looked better if it was a bit more zoomed out. I actually am fine with the small errors like the out of focus, but it would have looked better if they were done intentionally. The same way the camera movements were done with intention, it would have been great if the camera focus went in and out through the action, making it feel like a real action scene in real life. I love the running cycle and how the camera moves with the characters. This is rarely done this well in other Brick films. The use of sound effects also really helped. All in all, this is a very easy 9.5 out of 10. This video was bittersweet, and there were things that I adored, but at the same time there were things that I feel like could have been improved on. The use of color was excellent, but I feel like the beginning, the blacks were too punchy, like it actually removed the quality of the video. I however really liked how the camera moved around when the guy was put in the bag. The sound effects could have been improved. Some bullet impact sounds would have made it more realistic, like the bullets hitting the body, not just the gunshot itself. The movements in the video were actually done excellent, but it's hard not to mention how the video is unnecessarily quiet. When the lights go off it makes sense, but when John Wick walks around it just removes from the video. The bullets acting as light source was actually really creative. I totally appreciate what was done with it. As a whole, this is an 8 out of 10. Delta Morph Productions straight up blew me away with this one. I've seen other people try this with LEGO before, but this is a whole other level. This is probably the best version of this first-person shooter look I've ever seen. The animation was flawless. The effects as a whole were perfection. This is easily the shortest review out of any because there isn't anything I can critique. It was perfect. This is the first 10 out of 10. If you were one of the people who submitted a video here, but you didn't see it in the video, you will be added to the next one because I forgot to add a due date for this one, so a lot of people posted it after it was too late. Thank you guys for watching, and if you want to be on the next one, click on the submission form below. Make sure you subscribe, and it would be wonderful if you try to watch my Brick films. Have a good day, and see you next time.